Sophia Bush and Ashlyn Harris's love story is one that unfolded in a time of personal upheaval for both women but blossomed into a deeply meaningful and mutually healing partnership. The actress, best known for her role on One Tree Hill, and the soccer champion and two-time Olympian had crossed paths before, but their bond deepened significantly in the wake of their respective divorces. Bush from entrepreneur Grant Hughes and Harris from fellow soccer star Ollie Krieger. What makes their relationship particularly compelling is how it evolved not from passion sparked at first sight, but from a profound friendship rooted in shared values, emotional vulnerability, and personal growth. In 2023, both Bush and Harris faced intense emotional reckonings. Bush ended her 13-month marriage to Hughes, while Harris filed for divorce from Krieger after 4 years of marriage and 2 children together. Both women, already in overlapping social and professional circles due to their advocacy work, particularly around women's rights, LGBTQ+ issues, and wellness, gravitated toward each other in a support group for people going through divorce. This unexpected setting set the foundation for what would become one of the most supportive and grounded celebrity relationships in recent memory. Bush has spoken candidly about how their friendship was the bedrock for what came next. A 4-hour dinner they shared, filled with honesty, laughter, and vulnerability, turned out to be the beginning of something more intimate. She described it later as a moment that changed the course of her life. From the outset, what distinguished their connection was a shared desire for authenticity and alignment in values. Bush and Harris have each used their platforms to advocate for inclusion, equality, and wellness, efforts that deeply informed their bond. They had collaborated on projects supporting women's sports and mental health initiatives long before any romance was publicly known. In a way, their love was built on a strong foundation of mutual respect and understanding. They weren't rushing into something new out of grief or loneliness. They were leaning into something that already had roots. As the relationship progressed, they gradually began to share their lives more publicly. Subtle but telling signs appeared on social media, supportive comments on each other's posts, shared photos with mutual friends, and eventually, pictures of them together at events like Art Basel in Miami and the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It wasn't just about visibility, it was about choosing to show up for one another in the same way they had always shown up for the causes and communities they care about. Bush, who came out as queer in a moving essay published in Glamour in April 2024, opened up about how falling in love with Harris was part of a larger journey toward self-acceptance. She shared that she had always known she was somewhere on the queer spectrum, but had only recently found the language and courage to articulate it publicly. The relationship didn't define her identity, it helped her claim it more fully. Harris, for her part, also found in Bush a person who saw her not just as a decorated athlete or a mom, but as someone worthy of deep emotional connection after a painful separation. In interviews, Harris has described Bush as someone who reflects back the best version of herself, who makes her feel seen and celebrated for all the scars and triumphs that make up her journey. "She doesn't see my pain and scars as something broken," Harris said on a podcast appearance. "She sees them as my superpower." That kind of mutual affirmation is a hallmark of their relationship, not merely loving each other, but championing each other in the truest sense. Publicly, their appearances as a couple have exuded warmth and unity, not performative perfection. Whether posing in matching outfits at the Oscars party hosted by the Elton John AIDS Foundation or attending charity events hand in hand, they've cultivated a public image that is as much about purpose as it is about partnership. They aren't simply showing off their love, they are modeling what healthy, grounded queer relationships can look like in the spotlight, especially for younger fans and LGBTQ+ youth who may be watching and seeking role models. Their relationship has not been without scrutiny or challenges. Because of the timing of their divorces and the relative speed with which they seem to grow close, both Bush and Harris faced online speculation and criticism. Bush, especially, addressed the rumors with characteristic grace, clarifying that no infidelity was involved and that she and Harris were both already healing from their previous relationships when they reconnected. Rather than allowing negativity to define their narrative, they leaned into openness and transparency, choosing to share parts of their story with the public in a way that felt authentic and measured. Perhaps the most compelling part of their journey is how their relationship centers around healing and personal evolution. This isn't a love story built on whirlwind romance or tabloid drama. It's about two women finding comfort and courage in each other's presence at a time when they were both trying to rebuild. It's about finding someone who doesn't try to fix you but stands beside you as you do the hard internal work of healing. Bush has spoken about how being with Harris allowed her to rebuild her relationship with herself, and even with her mother. In her Glamour essay, she wrote that for the first time, she felt like she was loving and being loved as her whole true self. That level of personal transformation, of feeling seen in such a profound way, is rare, and all the more powerful when it comes in the wake of heartbreak. On the other side, Harris has embraced the challenges of co-parenting while managing a new relationship in the public eye. She and Krieger continue to raise their children with care and respect, and Bush has taken on a supportive and thoughtful role in that dynamic. Their story is not only about romantic love but also about expanding the definition of family, building a modern partnership grounded in mutual respect, co-parenting, and inclusion. As they continue to build a life together, Bush and Harris are an example of what it looks like when two people come together not to complete each other, but to amplify each other's strength. They are each other's teammates in every sense, emotionally, professionally, and personally. Their love story reminds us that the most meaningful relationships often come not when we're looking for them, but when we're finally ready to receive them with open hearts. Their bond also underscores a broader cultural shift toward more expansive and inclusive representations of love and identity. By showing up as their full selves, both publicly and privately, Bush and Harris aren't just redefining what love looks like for themselves, they're helping others see new possibilities for their own lives too. In celebrating each other, they have created space for others to celebrate authenticity, vulnerability, and joy, even after loss. As Sophia Bush celebrates her birthday, it's not just her fans who are celebrating her journey. It's clear that this new chapter with Ashlyn Harris marks not only a personal triumph, but also the blossoming of a love that is grounded, purposeful, and profoundly real. Together they become a team in the truest sense, one that uplifts, empowers, and thrives in the shared pursuit of truth, love, and a better world.